Imagine living in America for decades, right? You work, you build a relationship, serve in the military, believing that you belong, and then one day everything changes. So for a Jamaican born US Army veteran, Godfrey Wade, a single encounter with immigration authorities turned into a life altering moment. He was detained, processed, and eventually deported back to Jamaica after more than half a century living in the United States. But his story is bigger than one man. It reflects a reality many Jamaicans in the diaspora quietly fear.
We want one hearing, one opportunity, one chance to be heard.
65-year-old Godfrey Wade in an interview with CNN outlining what he's hoping for as he awaits the outcome of his appeal for his immigration case in the United States. The 65-year-old U.S. Army veteran, who had lived in the U.S. for 50 years as a lawful permanent resident, was deported to Jamaica last week after an emergency stay of removal was denied.
I'm not a criminal. I've worked and paid taxes all my life.
His path to deportation began on September 13, 2025, when he was pulled over for failing to use a turn signal in Conyers, Georgia. He was arrested for driving without a license. Soon after, ICE detained him due to a 2014 removal order stemming from a 2007 bounce check and a 2006 simple assault charge. He addressed the issues.
So in the effort to remove me from the home, which is our marriage home, a 911 call was called. There was no assault. Secondly, the fraudulent check was a bounce check that upon given notice that the check was bounced, I made full restitution to the tag office. And thirdly, the disruption of anything else was not correct.
It's understood that the removal order was issued when Wade did not show up for a 2014 hearing he was not notified of, as they were sent to an old address. Attorneys say court records show hearing notices sent to an address used by ICE were returned as undeliverable, and so he was unaware of the removal order until his arrest. The 65-year-old has been dealt a hard blow, but when asked whether he looked at the United States differently,
absolutely not. I love this country. I am the ultimate Jamaican, as we would say. My children are American, my grandchildren are American, and I mentor hundreds, if not thousands, of American young people. And for me to respond differently, it would be an atrocity. I love this country and everything it stands for. We believe in the justice system, and we know they're going to do the right thing.
For generations, Jamaicans have migrated in search of opportunity. America, Canada, and the UK became places where dreams felt possible. Many arrived as children or young adults. They built families, worked multiple jobs, and became deeply embedded in their communities. But not everyone completed the journey towards citizenship. Some stayed as permanent resident. Others believe military service or long residence automatically secure their place, and that assumption has cost Godfrey Wade dearly. Joining the US military has long been seen as proof of loyalty and sacrifice. Immigrants have served in large numbers, including many Jamaicans. For some, wearing the uniform meant they were finally accepted. But immigration law does not always align with emotional or cultural ideas of belonging. Service alone does not guarantee citizenship, and without citizenship, even veterans can face deportation. Godfrey Wade's case exposed this harsh reality. Reports indicate Wade immigration is to surface after a routine traffic stop for undocumented immigrants and non-citizens with past legal issues. Even minor encounters with law enforcement can trigger immigration review. ICE detention can happen suddenly, and once inside the system, options become limited. For many Jamaicans abroad, this represents a silent fear that years of building a life can unravel in an instant. Across Jamaican communities, online reactions were emotional and divided. Some saw deportation as unjust, arguing that military service should protect veterans. Others pointed to personal responsibility, emphasizing the importance of securing legal status. This debate reflects deeper tension within the diaspora, the pressure to succeed abroad, the fear of immigration enforcement, and the unspoken reality that not everyone's path is secure. Behind the argument lies a shared anxiety. If it happened to him, then guess what? It can happen to anybody. Deportation is more than a legal action, It's a psychological shock. Returning to Jamaica after decades abroad often means starting over completely. Different culture, different system, sometimes no support network. Many deportees describe feeling like strangers in the place they were born, neither fully American nor fully Jamaican anymore. The story of Godfrey Wade forces uncomfortable questions. What defines belonging? Is it paperwork or years of contribution? Should military service offer protection against deportation, or should immigration laws remain unchanged regardless of personal history? For the Jamaican diaspora, this case is more than news. It is a reminder, a warning, and a conversation about identity, legality, and survival in a world where migration defines so many lives. Because for many Jamaicans abroad, the American dream still comes with uncertainty. Make that stick.